What's up everybody? In this video we are going over the entire quest titled Nadir to Apex, and this is the second of only 2 quests for the Solstice of Heroes 2021 event. The first quest of course is called The Solstice Begins. If you haven't seen it already, I do have a video on that and I'll have it linked down in the description below. Please go check it out if you haven't already, be greatly appreciated. Anyways, so to start Nadir to Apex, you have to have actually completed The Solstice Begins. And also during that first quest, you get your first set of Solstice armor, the renewed Solstice armor. And in Nadir to Apex, you actually go through all the steps to upgrade that renewed armor to Majestic and then finally Magnificent. And this is what the Solstice of Heroes event is really all about. Because yes, there is that European Area Zone activity which is exclusive to this event, but it's really about getting this armor. And additionally, although it's not part of this quest, there is a step to upgrade the Magnificent armor to get a glow on it. And if you actually decide to do that, you'll be 1/3 of the way to get that exotic ghost shell there on the top left of the screen. But anyways, let's get into this quest titled Nadir to Apex. So like I said just a little bit ago, to even start this quest you have to have completed The Solstice Begins, because that's also where you get your renewed armor set. Now for this first step to Nadir to Apex, you strengthen your renewed Solstice armor set's connection to the light by completing armor objectives. For this video, I'll specifically be going over the Titan armor sets, upgrading from renewed to Majestic and then finally Magnificent. And that is because Titan is my main character and that's what I've completed so far. But anyways, for the objectives across the 3 classes, they're nearly identical. A lot of them are actually the same. The only differences comes down to what type of enemy you'll have to defeat on some objectives, which type of elemental orbs you'll have to collect on some objectives, which elemental weapon you'll have to use on some objectives, and which elemental abilities you'll have to use on some objectives. Now for this helmet, it's exactly the same across all 3 classes, and you just do 1 run through the European Aerial Zone, collect 200 of any type of elemental orbs, and get 20 finishers. For the gauntlets, you complete 1 playlist activity, so either a strike or a gambit or crucible match. You open 10 Solstice packages and defeat 200 of a certain enemy. For the Titan, it's the Hive. For the chest piece, you complete 2 public events, you collect 50 of a specific type of elemental orb in the playlist activity, so either strike, crucible, or gambit. And for the Titan, it's specifically arc or stasis orbs, and you defeat 30 opposing guardians. With the legs, it's the same for each class. You complete 1 patrol, you collect 50 orbs of power, and you get 50 kills with your supers. And finally, the class item, you complete 3 lost sectors, you collect 200 of a specific type of elemental orb in free roam, aka patrols. For Titans, it's specifically solar orbs, and you get 100 precision kills. Once you've completed all of the objectives for each piece of armor, you'll advance to step 2. With your completed renewed Solstice armor set equipped, return to the Statue of Heroes to meditate. So your renewed armor has now been upgraded to a legendary Majestic armor. For the helmet, the objectives are exactly the same for each class. You defeat 5 mini bosses in the European Aerial Zone in 1 run through, and you do that 3 times. You collect 500 of any type of elemental orb, and you rapidly defeat 100 enemies. For the gauntlets, the first objective you got a choice on which activity, so you can do either the Altars of Sorrow public event located on the moon, or if you have the season pass for season 14 season of the Splicer, you can do the override activity. And if you have that season pass, you can choose which one you want to do, or you can alternate between the 2. But regardless, you just gotta do whichever one a few times until that gets to 100%. For the second objective, you got to gain 20 empowerment buffs. To get 1 empowerment buff, you have to collect 30 elemental orbs, so you do that 20 times. And the last objective is to get 200 kills with an elemental weapon. For Titans, it's a solar weapon. So with the chess piece, the first objective, you again have a choice of which activity you want to do. One of them can be either the Blind Wells public event located in the Dreaming City, or the other one is the Wrathborn Hunts, which was the seasonal activity for Season 12, Season of the Hunt, and of course you have to have the Season Pass for that. And like the other one, if you have the Season Pass, you can choose whichever, or alternate, however you want to do it. Just do a few of those to get that to 100%. The second objective, you collect 50 Solstice Key Fragments from any source that you can get the key fragments from. And you get 100 grenade kills. With the Titan, it has to be arc grenades. For the legs, your first objective, you again have a choice, but this time it can be any public event located on Europa, or you can do the Battlegrounds activity, which was the seasonal activity for Season 13, Season of the Chosen, but of course you have to have that Season Pass, and you just do a few of those to get that to 100%. Second objective, you collect 100 of a specific orb in the playlist, so either in Strike, Gambit, or Crucible. And for Titan, it's specifically Void or Stasis orbs. And third objective, you have to get 50 melee kills with a certain subclass equipped. For Titan, it's a Void subclass. Then for your class item, for the first objective, you complete 3 matches in competitive PvP, so either Survival or Trials of Osiris, or you can do 3 Nightfalls on any difficulty. Second objective, you collect 50 orbs of a specific kind in a European aerial zone. For Titans, it's Arc Orbs. And then third objective, you defeat 50 powerful enemies. For Titans, it's the Hive. So doing all of those is step 3 of this quest right here, which is to complete all of the objectives for the Majestic set of armor. That then takes us to step 4. With your completed Majestic Solstice armor set equipped, return to the Statue of Heroes to meditate. And this takes us to our final step. Show Eva your fully restored Magnificent Solstice armor set. So usually when you complete the quest for an event, Eva will have a bit more to say, but for this one she only says, "Your voice is unleashed," and you get a Solstice key fragment. A bit weird that she didn't, say anything else, but that does complete the quest called Nadir to Apex, so you now have a magnificent set of Solstice armor. Now, it doesn't really look any different from the Majestic set, but you can take it a step further to get a glow on each piece of armor set, but the challenges are a bit more difficult. For the helmet, you have to do a Master or Grandmaster Nightfall Strike. For the gauntlets, you have to complete a raid. For the chest piece, you have to complete a dungeon. For the legs, you defeat 15 champions or competitive guardians. And then for the class item, you complete 3 lost sectors on legendary or master difficulty. Now earlier in my introduction, I had mentioned that to do these steps to get the glows were not actually part of the quest, and I said I would explain why. Well, the reason why is because the objectives on this magnificent armor are not tied to this event. And that means when this event is over, you can still do these objectives to get that glow on the armor if you so choose. And I also mentioned that if you do that, you're 1/3 of the way to get the exotic ghost shell. To do the other 2 parts, the other 2/3, you have to go through your other 2 characters and upgrade your Renew to Majestic to Magnificent, and then get the glows on those as well. Additionally, in completing the Nadir to Apex quest, which is the culmination of the Solstice of Heroes 2021 event, you'll receive this offer to buy an exclusive event shirt for Solstice of Heroes, and you access that through Bungie Rewards, either through Bungie's website or the Destiny 2 app, and this is linked to your account, so you can't just go on there anytime. There's a limited time to be able to purchase this, but if you want to purchase it, you got to complete the event first, and then you'll be able to get this shirt if you so choose to buy it. So although there are no more quests for Solstice of Heroes 2021, there are still some triumphs to do before the event ends. The first one, Magnificent Zenith, comes from completing Nadir to Apex because you get the Magnificent Armor. Flash of Daylight comes from getting one glow on one piece of Magnificent Armor. Partially Resplendent comes from upgrading all of your Magnificent Armor so each piece has a glow on it. You also get an emblem. Cosmically Resplendent. With this one, you have to get the Magnificent Armor for all 3 of your characters, and you have to do all those objectives to get the full set of glow for all 3 characters. And if you do that, you'll get the Filigree of Light exotic Ghost Shell. The next triumph, it's called Refractory Warrior. So with this one, you have to defeat bosses in the European Aerial Zone on Prism Day. And Prism Day means all the elements are featured. So you just go in there when it's Prism Day and you defeat bosses. Now this final triumph, it's actually a secret triumph. It's called here Solstice Cat Snacks. You feed the secret cat in the European Aerial Zone, and I'll show you where that's at right now. So you load into the Aerial Zone, and then you're going to jump down and go off to the left. You just jump down here into like this little canyon or whatever, if you will. And then you'll find this little cave right here, and you'll notice this little kind of sewer system. And then you'll come in here, and right here is this cat statue. Now I've already done it, but for those of you who have not done it, there will be a little prompt on the screen, and you'll just hold that button down, and that will get you that triumph. And this thing here, it's just a teleporter. It basically puts you at the beginning of the map, although really high up, so make sure you jump before you land. But anyways, if you like this video, if it was helpful in any way, please leave a like, please subscribe if you haven't already. It would be very much appreciated. But here's until next time.